You ever notice how some guys seem to have it all? Money, power, respect, the type of life most men only dream about. They walk into a room and people take notice. It's almost like they've figured out the secret sauce. But here's the hard truth. They didn't get there by accident. Most men will never get what they want in life. And it's not because the world's against them. It's because they're too comfortable. They've traded potential for comfort. And it's a dangerous game to play. Let's think about it for a second. You know those days when you say, "I'll start tomorrow"? Whether it's hitting the gym, working on your business, or even learning something new, tomorrow never comes, does it? And then it turns into another day of scrolling through your phone, eating junk food, or wasting time on things that don't get you anywhere. But here's the kicker. In the back of your mind, you know it's wrong. You know you're capable of more, but you don't do it. Now imagine this. A man who wakes up early, hits the gym, reads a book every day, and sticks to his goals. Despite the distractions, despite the temptation to slack off, he doesn't let his feelings decide his actions. He chooses discipline over comfort, time and time again. And guess what? The world notices him. Opportunities open up. Women chase him. Success is drawn to him like a magnet. So, what's the difference between the guy who gets everything and the one who gets stuck in the same rut? It's simple: discipline. The man who can control himself, who doesn't give in to every impulse, is the one who gets what he wants. And the sad reality: most men will never learn this. They'll keep putting it off, thinking things will magically change. But it won't happen unless they take action. Ask yourself this: how much longer are you going to wait to start? Before we get into this, I'd really appreciate it if you liked the video, so you can help me keep spreading Stoic philosophy. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so and activate the bell so you don't miss any future content. Understanding the true meaning of discipline and how it differs from motivation. Discipline. It's one of those words that sounds simple, right? But here's the truth. It's a lot more than just getting up early or sticking to a workout routine. Discipline is the force that moves you forward when everything else in your body says, just take the easy way out. Let me break it down. See, most guys think discipline is about doing stuff you like to do, but that's not discipline. That's just fun. Discipline is about doing what you hate to do, but doing it anyway. You get up when your bed feels like heaven. You push yourself when the weights are heavy, and you work when you'd rather relax. That's the key. Think about it. The last time you skipped a workout, you didn't just skip lifting weights. You skipped the progress. You skipped the power you could have built. You made a choice to stay comfortable. And that's where most men get stuck, in the cycle of comfort. Now let me tell you something that might hit you hard. You know that voice in your head telling you it's okay to quit? That's the voice of weakness. It's easy to listen to. It's loud. It's persuasive. But here's the truth. Discipline is quieter. It's patient. And it's the one that wins in the end. You might have heard this before. Discipline is doing what you hate, but doing it like you love it. Let that sink in for a second. Love the grind. Love the hustle. Even when it feels like you're getting nowhere. That's the trick. When you force yourself to do the thing you'd rather not do, you're building character. You know who gets it? The Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus. They didn't just talk about discipline, they lived it. Epictetus was born a slave, but he didn't let that define him. He found strength in the smallest actions. He didn't look for excuses. He made choices that led him to freedom. In his mind, in his spirit. So what does that look like for you today? Maybe it's waking up early, making your bed, or even choosing the hard road over the easy one. It's that small, consistent choice, day after day, building a better version of yourself. If you're still not sure what discipline looks like, think about it like this. Discipline is the muscle that will get you everything you want in life. When you choose discipline, you choose long-term rewards over temporary comfort. And trust me, it's worth it. Why most men fail before they start. It's tough to admit, but most men lose before they even begin. And it's not because they're lacking potential, it's because they're slaves to comfort. The moment they encounter difficulty, the first thing they do is retreat back to their phone, the couch, or anything that feels good in the moment. Think about the last time you really wanted something. Maybe it was to lose weight, start a business, or get in shape. You had the idea, you felt motivated for a day or two, but eventually life got in the way, and you found an excuse. You thought, I'll start tomorrow. And what happens? Tomorrow never comes. Now, let's dig into something a bit harder. To hear you are addicted to comfort. It's in your nature. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure, to avoid pain. It's part of the survival instinct. But here's the truth. Comfort is the killer of progress. The more you chase what's easy, the further away you get from what you truly want. It's a trap. Look at today's world. We're constantly flooded with distractions, social media, endless entertainment, quick fixes for almost everything. It's like your brain is on a constant dopamine drip, and the worst part, you're addicted. Every notification, every scroll, every new like is a hit, a tiny shot of pleasure, and you think you're winning, but you're not. This is the battle most men face. They don't even realize they're stuck in this cycle. They're caught in a tug of war between impulse and discipline. Every time you cave to your impulses, whether it's hitting snooze on the alarm or binge-watching a show, you're giving in. And each time you give in, it gets easier. The next time, it's even harder to break that pattern. Here's the real kicker. If you can't control yourself, someone else will. This is where Stoicism comes in. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That's the lesson right there. If you can't control your impulses, your life will be dictated by them. You'll be controlled by your own weaknesses. But the good news? You have the power to change that. It's all about discipline. Discipline is the antidote to your impulses. It's the practice of choosing long-term satisfaction over short-term comfort. It's about choosing to do instead of feel. And while it's hard at first, it becomes second nature with time. Let's take a moment here. You're already doing this every day, whether you realize it or not. When you drag yourself out of bed even when it's cold, or when you push through that workout you didn't feel like doing, that's discipline. When you choose to do the right thing, even when no one's watching, that's the strength that's going to separate you from the pack. But here's the thing, most men never get here. They get stuck in that cycle of, I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. They look for the quick fix, the shortcut to success. But there's no such thing. It's all about the grind. The small decisions you make every single day. That's where discipline makes all the difference. So here's your challenge. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop looking for shortcuts. If you want to change, if you want to get what you want, you need to start today. No more excuses. No more putting it off. You have everything you need inside of you. It's just a matter of controlling your impulses and staying disciplined. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do hard things. It's about choosing a life of purpose, one where every decision aligns with your goals, not your feelings. You see, the truth is, most men fail because they let comfort take over, and they don't even realize it's happening. But once you wake up to the truth, once you see the habits that are holding you back, that's when you start winning. That's when you start to take control. And that's when you finally begin to get everything you've been chasing. How more discipline actually leads to more freedom in your life. I know what you're thinking. How can discipline give me freedom? Doesn't discipline mean restriction? Well, you're not wrong. It does involve restriction, but here's the twist. The more disciplined you are, the more freedom you'll have. Think about it for a second. The most successful people, the ones who are in control of their lives, are the ones who choose discipline over comfort. And here's why. When you impose rules and structure on yourself, it might feel restrictive at first, but over time, that structure gives you the ability to do what you want, when you want. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want financial freedom. If you just spend money whenever you feel like it, buying whatever looks good in the moment, you're creating chaos in your life. You're constantly chasing the next paycheck or relying on external factors to feel secure. But if you take control of your finances, if you save, budget, and invest your money wisely, then you have freedom. You're no longer a slave to impulse purchases or debt. You have options. You have peace of mind. The same applies to every area of life. If you're constantly chasing comfort and pleasure, you're a prisoner to it. And that's not freedom. But when you master your habits, when you choose discipline over the immediate satisfaction of what feels good in the moment, you gain the freedom to do what you truly want. Not because it's easy, but because you've built the strength to handle it. Let's look at fitness for a second. How many times have you told yourself you'll get in shape, but then life gets in the way and you push it to the next day and the next? The reality is that every time you skip a workout, every time you let laziness take over, you're losing a bit of your freedom. You're letting your body and mind get weaker, and soon enough your body and health will demand your attention. But by then, it'll be harder to fix. But when you choose to be disciplined, even on the hard days, even when it's the last thing you feel like doing, that's when you start to earn your freedom. The freedom to feel strong, confident, and in control of your own body. That's true freedom. Think about all the decisions you make every day. What you eat, how you spend your time, how you respond to people. Every single one of those decisions is a choice between discipline and indulgence. It's easy to take the path of least resistance, to binge-watch Netflix instead of reading, to scroll through social media instead of working on your goals. But that's not freedom. That's being controlled by your impulses. Now look at someone who's disciplined, someone who sticks to a routine, who works on their craft every day, who doesn't let their emotions drive their decisions. That person has the ultimate freedom, the freedom to create their own future. They have control over their time, their body, their money, and their mind. It's like this. Discipline is the tool that gives you the freedom to choose what you want, when you want, without being dictated by your habits or impulses. The more disciplined you are, the more your life becomes a series of choices, and not just reactions to the world around you. So, remember this. Chaos is expensive and discipline is powerful. The more you choose structure and control, the more you'll find yourself living a life of freedom. You'll be able to move toward your goals, make decisions that align with your future, and build a life where you are the one in control. Discipline is the key that unlocks the door to freedom. It's not just about working hard. It's about working smart. Choose discipline and choose freedom. How discipline builds status and why women are biologically drawn to disciplined men. Let's talk about something that's often uncomfortable for a lot of guys. But it's the truth. Discipline leads to status, and status is one of the most powerful things a man can possess. Now, before you get all defensive, hear me out. You see, men and women are wired differently. Women are biologically drawn to men who can provide, not just in terms of money, but in terms of stability, strength, and status. Women, whether they admit it or not, are hardwired to look for a man who can protect, who can lead, and who has the power to make things happen. And what builds that power? Discipline. When you see a man who is disciplined in his life, whether it's how he works, how he trains, how he handles his finances, or how he treats others, you're seeing someone who commands respect. That's status. The more disciplined a man is, the more he becomes someone others look up to, admire, and yes, even chase. Now, this isn't about trying to impress women with your accomplishments just for the sake of impressing them. It's about understanding this fundamental truth. Women don't just want a man who looks good on paper. They want a man who has the ability to lead, to provide, and to control his own destiny. And all of that comes from one thing: discipline. Think about it. A man who's disciplined has consistency. He shows up every day whether he feels like it or not. He's working towards a bigger goal, and people notice that. Women notice that. The type of man who's disciplined, who sticks to a routine, who follows through with his promises, is a man who has what women want: stability, strength, and the ability to lead. Let's break this down a bit more. Discipline means that you are in control of your life. You don't let distractions pull you off track. You are the one in the driver's seat. And let's be honest, women are attracted to that. They want a man who knows where he's going and isn't afraid to take the wheel. A man who can lead a relationship, who can take charge when it matters, and who can handle the ups and downs of life without losing his cool. That's powerful, that's attractive, and that's what discipline builds. But it's not just about what you do. It's about how you do it. You can't just be disciplined in one area of your life and expect to build status. It's about being disciplined across the board. How do you take care of your body? How do you manage your money? How do you handle your relationships? The more you show up consistently in all these areas, the more you earn respect and admiration. And that's the kind of status that is magnetic. This is where we get into a little bit of the hard truth about status. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. You don't have to be the richest guy in the room or the best-looking guy in the world. But if you have discipline, if you have the ability to stick to your principles, to stay focused on your goals, and to improve every single day, then you'll stand out. And that's what attracts people, including women. Take, for example, someone like David Goggins. This guy didn't get famous by sitting around and waiting for the world to change for him. He got there by making the decision to be disciplined. Every day, no matter how hard it was, he pushed through pain, exhaustion, and self-doubt. And now, people look up to him. He's a symbol of what discipline can do. Think about it. When you're disciplined, you don't need to chase anyone or anything. People are drawn to you because they see your value. That's what status is. It's about what you bring to the table. You don't chase validation. You earn respect through your actions. Here's the thing. If you're not disciplined, you're chasing your goals. You're chasing success. You're chasing validation. And guess what? People can feel that. They can sense when you're desperate or unbalanced. But a man who is disciplined, he's not chasing. He's creating. He's living his purpose. And that's the kind of man who has a magnetic pull, not just for women, but for anyone who respects hard work, consistency, and ambition. And let's not forget, discipline isn't about being cold or distant. It's about being the best version of yourself. Not just for you, but for everyone around you. When you take care of yourself, when you build your life around consistent growth, you become a better partner, a better friend, and a better man. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your actions speak for themselves. So the next time you find yourself slacking or tempted to take the easy way out, ask yourself, what would a disciplined man do right now? That's the man who wins, the man who gets what he wants. And not just in relationships, but in life. Because discipline attracts people, opportunities, and success. The power of delaying. Pleasure today for long-term rewards tomorrow. We all know that feeling. The instant craving, the need to satisfy yourself right now. It could be as simple as a slice of pizza, a new gadget, or skipping a workout because you're too tired. It's easy, right? Instant gratification. It feels good in the moment, but here's the problem. It comes at a cost. What's the cost of instant gratification? It's your future. Every time you give in to the urge to feel good right now, you're stealing from the life you could have tomorrow. And I get it. It's not easy to wait. Nobody likes to wait. We all want what we want, and we want it now. But here's the truth. The ability to delay gratification is the superpower that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Let me take you back to the marshmallow test. This was a famous experiment where kids were given the choice to eat one marshmallow right away or wait 15 minutes and get two. The kids who waited, who practiced self-control, ended up with higher success rates in life, better academic performance, and stronger emotional intelligence. Why? Because they understood that the short-term pleasure wasn't worth the long-term gain. Now you might be thinking, that's just for kids, right? I'm an adult. I can handle my desires. But let's be real. You're just like those kids. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're giving in to that same impulse. Every time you skip the gym, eat junk food, or waste time on mindless scrolling, you're choosing the marshmallow instead of the bigger, more rewarding goal. And each time you do this, you're teaching yourself that instant gratification is okay. But in reality, you're building habits that will hold you back in the long run. Here's the thing. Delayed gratification is the ultimate act of discipline. The disciplined man understands that the best rewards are often the ones that take time. He doesn't rush toward the easy, quick fixes. Instead, he builds his life one small, disciplined decision at a time, knowing that the payoff will be worth it. This is a core tenet of Stoicism, the ability to choose rationality over impulse, to choose long-term benefits over fleeting satisfaction. Now let's talk about fitness, because it's one of the easiest areas to see this in action. We've all been there. You've set a goal to lose weight, get stronger, build muscle, and then, after a couple of weeks of eating clean and pushing yourself in the gym, the cravings hit. The pizza looks so good. That night out with friends sounds like a blast. It's easy to justify. I'll start again tomorrow, you tell yourself. But here's the truth. When you give in, you're not just giving in to a pizza, you're giving in to the habit of quitting. You're teaching your mind that it's okay to stop when things get tough. But when you choose delayed gratification, when you push through that moment of weakness, when you stay disciplined and follow through on your commitment, that's when you start to see real change. You don't just lose weight or get stronger, you build character, you build the mental fortitude that makes every other area of your life stronger. The rewards that come from delayed gratification are lasting. They don't disappear after a day or a week. They stay with you and they compound over time. And this applies to every area of your life. It's not just about fitness or dieting, it's about the long-term game. Think about your career. Sure, it's easy to slack off, take the easy projects, or just coast through the day. But the people who rise to the top, the people who get what they want, they put in the work when no one's watching. They make the uncomfortable choices. They delay the satisfaction of a night out, the pleasure of an easy day, in exchange for something bigger. They build their career step by step, day by day, through the small actions that others overlook. Think about the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, for example, spent hours meditating on his thoughts, focusing on his duties, even though it would have been far easier to indulge in luxury and distractions. And what did he get? The strength to lead an empire. He chose delayed gratification over instant pleasure every single day. Here's the bottom line. The more you delay gratification, the more you build your future. Every time you resist the temptation for immediate pleasure, you're investing in your future success. And that's the kind of investment that pays huge dividends in health, wealth, and peace of mind. So, next time you're faced with that moment of choice, the quick reward versus the long-term goal, ask yourself, what would a disciplined man do right now? Choose the hard path. Choose the one that leads to a stronger, better you. Because the true superpower of life isn't just about achieving something quickly, it's about building something that lasts. Real-life examples from Stoic philosophers who mastered discipline and built legacies. Let's take a moment to look back at some of the most iconic Stoic figures in history. These are the men who didn't just preach discipline, they lived it. They didn't just talk about control over their impulses, they showed the world what it looked like. And most importantly, they built legacies that have lasted for centuries. First, up we have Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. Now imagine being the ruler of the most powerful empire on earth, the weight of the world on your shoulders, constant wars, political unrest, betrayals, and challenges at every turn. But Marcus, he didn't let any of that throw him off course. He lived by Stoic principles, focusing on what he could control and letting go of what he couldn't. His famous work, Meditations, is a series of personal reflections where he constantly reminds himself to stay disciplined, to be kind, and to focus on what truly matters. It's powerful because this wasn't a man just sitting in a calm study writing philosophy. He was in the trenches, dealing with the pressures of ruling a massive empire. And still, he was disciplined enough to reflect on how to be a better man. Then there's Epictetus, who was born a slave. Let that sink in for a moment. A slave. He had nothing. He wasn't born with privilege or opportunity. But what Epictetus had was an ironclad mindset. He believed that while we can't control our circumstances, we can control how we respond. He didn't just endure his suffering, he used it to build a sense of inner freedom. He was eventually freed and went on to become one of the most influential philosophers in history. His life shows us that discipline doesn't depend on your external circumstances. It depends on how you choose to respond. No matter how difficult life gets, you always have the power to control your thoughts and actions. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, was born into wealth, but he didn't let his riches define him. Instead, he chose to live with restraint. Despite his wealth and power as an advisor to Emperor Nero, Seneca believed in the importance of simplicity and self-control. He argued that true freedom comes when you no longer feel the need to constantly seek external validation or indulgence. Instead, you find contentment in your own discipline. Seneca's life was a testament to the fact that wealth and status don't mean anything if you don't have the discipline to manage them properly. Let's move from ancient history to someone more modern, David Goggins. Now, Goggins is not a Stoic philosopher, but his life reflects the same principles. He went from being a severely overweight, unhappy man to a Navy SEAL, ultra-endurance, athlete, and motivational speaker. His story is one of pure discipline. Every day, he chose pain over comfort, struggle over ease. Whether it was running miles in the desert or pushing through an impossible workout, Goggins did what most people would never even consider. His message is clear: you are capable of more than you think, but you have to train your mind to push through the discomfort. Look at Elon Musk, a modern-day example of the Stoic philosophy of focusing on long-term goals and being relentlessly disciplined. Musk has revolutionized multiple industries, from electric cars to space travel, all because he understands the power of discipline. He wakes up every day with a vision in mind, and he works relentlessly towards it, even if it means sacrificing sleep or personal time. He's disciplined enough to ignore distractions and focus on his ultimate mission. Musk's life shows us that discipline, when applied to a clear vision, can change the world. What's common between Marcus, Epictetus, Seneca, Goggins, and Musk? It's their ability to stay disciplined, no matter the obstacles. It's the refusal to give in to the easier path and the relentless pursuit of something greater. That's the power of Stoic discipline. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day, no matter what. It's about choosing to act according to your values, not your impulses. It's about creating a life that's grounded in purpose and not driven by momentary desires. These men, from ancient times to today, prove that discipline is timeless. They didn't wait for the world to hand them what they wanted. They didn't wait for things to get easy. They built their lives through consistent, disciplined action, and that's something we can all learn from. So the next time you feel tempted to take the easy route, remember the Stoics. Remember the men who didn't just talk about discipline. They lived it. They created legacies because they chose to act with purpose, consistency, and control. And so can you. Practical everyday habits that will help you build discipline starting now. Now that we've talked about the power of discipline and the incredible role it plays in shaping your life, let's get into how to actually build it. Day by day, step by step. Discipline isn't something that magically appears overnight. It's something you create through your daily actions. And if you want to get to where you want to go in life, to get what you truly desire, you need to start with a solid foundation. First things first, create a morning routine. There's a reason so many successful people swear by this. When you wake up, your mind is fresh and ready to be shaped. You have a window of time before the world starts demanding your attention. And how you use that time will set the tone for your entire day. So start strong. Make your bed, get your body moving, and set your intentions for the day. This isn't just about waking up and going through the motions. It's about taking charge of your day from the moment your eyes open. Start with something physical. Go for a run, do a set of push-ups, or even just stretch. It doesn't have to be anything extreme, but it does need to get your body moving. Physical activity gets the blood flowing and primes you for a day of action. You've probably heard it before, but the key to a productive day often starts with a solid workout. It's like a small victory before the day even begins. Now, let's talk about journaling. This is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools you can use. Every successful person I know has some sort of journaling or reflective practice in their life. It could be a gratitude journal, a to-do list, or simply a place to clear your mind. When you write down your goals, your intentions, and your thoughts, you give yourself clarity. You lay the path in front of you so you can follow it. And it's not just about writing, it's about reflecting. Take a moment each day to review your actions. Did you stick to your plans? Did you take action? Or did you get distracted by your impulses? Journaling helps you stay accountable to yourself. It's like having a daily check-in where you can measure your progress and adjust course if needed. Next up, cold showers. I know it sounds brutal, but hear me out. Cold showers are the perfect test of discipline. The initial shock of the cold water makes your body scream for relief. But here's the catch. When you choose to stay under the cold water, you're teaching your mind to endure discomfort. You're building mental toughness. You're conditioning your mind to take on challenges without quitting. And the best part, you don't have to stay in there for hours. Just a few minutes a day will build up your resistance to discomfort, making the hard things feel a little less hard. Another powerful discipline tactic is planning your day the night before. This is huge for making sure you're not wasting time trying to figure out what to do next. The night before, write down the 3 to 5 most important tasks you need to get done the next day. These should be things that will move you closer to your goals. When you wake up, you already know what you need to do. No excuses, no time wasted on deciding what to do first. You simply get up, get moving, and get to work. And let's not forget about diet. Discipline is directly connected to how you take care of your body. If you're constantly eating junk, your energy levels will crash, your focus will suffer, and your mood will dip. On the other hand, when you feed your body with real nutritious food, you fuel yourself for success. Healthy food is not just for your body, it's fuel for your mind too. A disciplined man understands that eating well isn't a choice, it's a requirement. It's about investing in yourself, long term. Now create small goals throughout the day. Break your tasks down into smaller, bite-sized chunks. This makes them feel more manageable and ensures that you're making constant progress. Instead of saying, I need to write a book, break it down into I'll write 500 words today. Instead of, I'll work out this week, go for I'll do 30 push-ups today. Small goals create momentum, and that momentum is what carries you forward when things get tough. One of the most underrated forms of discipline is saying no. It's easy to get distracted by things that don't serve your bigger goals. Friends asking you to hang out when you should be working, social media sucking you into endless scrolling. That temptation to just take a break. But a disciplined man learns to say no. He protects his time and energy because he knows that saying yes to everything means saying no to his future. So let's talk about a 30-day monk mode challenge. This is where you go all in on your goals for a month. You eliminate distractions, focus solely on what's important, and push yourself to the limit. For 30 days, give everything you have to your growth. No excuses, no distractions, just pure, relentless focus. You'll be amazed at how much progress you can make when you eliminate everything that doesn't serve your purpose. Finally, embrace the grind. Discipline is about staying consistent. It's about making those small, smart decisions every single day, even when it gets hard, even when you want to quit. The grind is what separates the winners from the losers, the champions from the amateurs. And it's not about how fast you go. It's about showing up every day. Remember, it's not about big dramatic changes overnight. It's about small daily actions that compound over time. Discipline isn't an event, it's a process. So start small, start today, and keep going. Because every day you choose discipline, you choose a better future for yourself. Why choosing comfort over challenge is holding you back, and how to break free. We live in a world where comfort is constantly tempting us. It's everywhere. From the couch to the bed to that one last snack you promised yourself you wouldn't have. But here's the hard truth. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're choosing to stay exactly where you are. And if you stay where you are, you'll never get what you truly want. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you grew as a person while being comfortable? Think about it. Growth only happens when you step outside of your comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself, when you do things that challenge you, and when you take risks. But comfort doesn't want that. Comfort wants you to stay where you are, to stay in that cozy little bubble where nothing changes. But here's the thing. If you're not growing, you're dying. It sounds harsh, but it's true. If you're not improving, you're falling behind. The world doesn't stop moving just because you're comfortable. And the more comfortable you get, the harder it becomes to break free from that comfort. You get stuck in a rut. You wake up every day and go through the motions, and before you know it, years have passed, and you've made little to no progress. Let's look at the way comfort plays out in the most basic decisions. The decision to work out, the decision to eat healthy, the decision to learn something new, the decision to go after your goals instead of waiting for the right time. All of these decisions come with discomfort. They come with the choice to leave your comfort zone. And every time you avoid that discomfort, you reinforce the cycle of complacency. But if you choose discipline over comfort, if you choose to push through the resistance, that's when things start to change. The discomfort you feel in the moment is a sign that you're moving forward. It means you're on the right track. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you grow. The more you push yourself past your limits, the stronger you become. Here's a great example. Think about those tough workouts you've done in the past, the ones where you wanted to quit halfway through, the ones where every part of your body was screaming to stop. But when you pushed through, when you didn't let comfort win, that's when you felt the most accomplished. That's when you felt the strength you didn't know you had. That's the power of discomfort. And this isn't just about fitness. This applies to every area of your life. If you want to build a successful career, you have to get comfortable with discomfort. That means making tough decisions, putting in the hours when everyone else is slacking, and facing rejection without backing down. It means learning, growing, and doing the things that others won't do because they're too comfortable. We see it all around us. Softness kills ambition. Look at people who have everything handed to them, people who've grown up with every comfort. They often struggle to find purpose because they've never had to fight for anything. They've never had to face challenges, so when life gets hard, they crumble. But when you face discomfort head-on, when you embrace the grind, you build resilience. You develop the kind of mental toughness that keeps you going, no matter how tough things get. Think about empires and civilizations throughout history. They didn't rise to power by playing it safe. They were built by men who were willing to take risks, face challenges, and embrace discomfort. Hard times create strong men. And when the world gets soft, when comfort becomes too easy to find, that's when people start to fall behind. They stop taking action. They stop fighting for what they want. But you don't have to be like that. You can choose to embrace discomfort every day. Start by doing the hard things. Wake up early. Do the workout you're dreading. Take on the project that scares you. Choose to read instead of scroll. Every time you make that choice, you build strength, you build discipline, you build a life that's unstoppable. So stop running from discomfort. Use it as your fuel. It's the sign that you're pushing yourself beyond your limits, and it's the secret to unlocking your true potential. The more uncomfortable you get, the stronger you become. And that's when the real change starts to happen. The long-term rewards that come from living a disciplined life, and why they're worth it. So, you've been putting in the work. You've been waking up early, staying disciplined with your routines, pushing through discomfort. But here's the question you've probably been asking yourself. When does it pay off? When do you start seeing the rewards for all that hard work? Let me tell you something. The rewards of discipline are not always immediate. The man who chooses discipline over comfort today won't always see the benefits tomorrow. But over time, those rewards compound. And when they do show up, they're bigger, stronger, and more lasting than anything you could have achieved with shortcuts or easy fixes. Here's the thing. Discipline gives you control. The more disciplined you are, the more you control your time, your energy, and your life. You wake up every day with a purpose. You're not reactive to the world around you. You're proactive, shaping your reality instead of letting it shape you. That's a freedom most people never experience. Take your health, for example. When you commit to a consistent workout routine, when you choose clean food over junk, when you push through the days you don't feel like it, you're not just building muscles or losing weight. You're building resilience. You're building a body that works for you, not against you. And that's freedom. The freedom to live your life without the constant battle against poor health. Now, think about your financial freedom. When you discipline yourself to save, invest, and budget, you're building a life where money doesn't control you. You can make choices from a place of abundance, not scarcity. The disciplined man has options. He's not stuck in a job he hates because he needs to pay bills. He's not drowning in debt because he learned to say no to short-term pleasures. Discipline gives you financial freedom. The freedom to choose the work you love. The freedom to travel, to invest in experiences, to live life on your terms. Let's take a deeper look at relationships. The disciplined man is the man who shows up consistently. He's the man who keeps his word, who puts in the effort, who nurtures his relationships. That's how respect is earned. A man who disciplines himself to show kindness, honesty, and loyalty builds a reputation that stands the test of time. When people know they can rely on you, you become indispensable. And that kind of respect is priceless. What about mental peace? The disciplined man has it. It's not that he doesn't face challenges, it's not that he doesn't struggle, but he knows how to handle life's chaos because he's built the mental muscle to deal with it. When your mind is disciplined, you don't get swept up in stress or anxiety. You stay calm, focused, and grounded. You have a deep sense of inner peace that comes from knowing you're in control of your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. The true reward of discipline is a life that you've consciously created. It's a life where you are living on purpose, not letting life just happen to you. You become the architect of your own destiny. You wake up every day with clarity, confidence, and direction. And yes, there will be moments when you feel tired. There will be days when you don't want to do the work, when the temptation to relax and take it easy will be strong. But the disciplined man doesn't back down. He remembers that the reward isn't in the comfort of the moment, but in the power and freedom that will come tomorrow. That's why discipline is so powerful. It's not about working yourself to the bone for some fleeting pleasure. It's about creating the foundation for a life of purpose, freedom, and respect. The rewards of discipline are not just material. They're internal. They're the strength to keep going when everyone else quits. They're the peace that comes from knowing you gave everything you had. And they're the legacy you leave behind when people remember you as the man who showed up every day no matter what. So if you're wondering whether it's worth it, whether the grind, the struggle, the discipline is worth the reward, just look at what it gives you. It gives you control over your life. It gives you the strength to make the hard decisions. It gives you the freedom to live the life you've always wanted. And that, my friend, is a reward that lasts a lifetime. All right. Now that you've heard all about the power of discipline and how it can transform your life, let me ask you one last question. When was the last time your lack of discipline cost you something important? Think about it for a moment. Was it missing out on your health, your career, or even your relationships? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. What's the one area where you know discipline could change the game for you? And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the channel grow and allows me to keep bringing more content like this. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. And turn on the bell so you don't miss any future videos on Stoicism, discipline, and self-mastery. Remember, discipline is the key that unlocks your potential. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up every day, making the hard choices and embracing discomfort. You can do this. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and I'll see you in the next one.